evening, ghosts and ghouls. You're listening to a horrible podcast.
What's up? It's the one, the only JT Ripper, and I'm here with
Todd of Thunder.
And we're back with another review. It's a little bit late, but better late than never, with Nefarious.
Nefarious.
Yep, we watched this last night. Little controversy behind it because it's by the Christian makers that made God's Not Dead.
Yes.
I think 1 and 2.
I haven't seen either one of them.
Me neither.
Never had a desire to. Is that the documentary?
No, it's not a documentary. It's a movie.
Okay, what's the one where it's like
Jesus Camp?
Jesus Camp is one I'm thinking of, where like they made like this documentary and like, isn't this wonderful? And the rest of the world is like, these fucking people are crazy.
Yeah. I've been trying to watch that documentary, but it's not on anything.
Yeah. I don't know, but this is an actual movie. So
yeah, Nefarious. It came out this year, earlier this year. Actually, I think it came out about the same time Pope's Exorcist came out. Anyway, it's pretty much a conversation piece or like a suspenseful thriller, kind of, but with no action.
Yeah, it's about an inmate who is on death row about to be executed in hours, and this psychologist is sent to see him. He's not his regular psychologist because his real psychologist committed suicide, so he's kind of like a substitute. But anyway, his job is to determine whether or not this inmate is mentally fit to be carried out execution. His execution be carried out. Because if he's not mentally fit to do it,
they can't kill him.
Yeah, you can't kill mentally unstable people, I guess. So he goes and he interviews him, and right off the bat, the guy says, "You can't kill me. It doesn't matter. I'm a demon." And he's like, I'm just infesting this body. This is just a vessel. You know, this is basically it's kind of like I got fuck you money, and if I crash my car, that's okay. I always buy a new car. That's the way the demon treats the human host,
right?
You know, and he made the human host do very terrible things. He was a serial killer.
Yeah,
I believe he explained it in the film that it was like 11, but he was convicted of 6, and there was like 2 that couldn't be proven and like 4 that would never be found. I think that's how he put it.
That's his name.
Yeah. Let's see here. What's his name?
The guy that played
Sean Patrick Flanery. Is that how you say it?
Flanery?
Flanery?
Sean. We'll call him Sean.
Yeah. Anyway.
I just wanted to point his name out real quick because he was very amazing in this movie.
Yeah, he plays the inmate who is possessed. And the cool thing about this is he snaps in and out of reality. Like, when he's the demon, he's very well-spoken. He's very dark, as you would think. He's very
strategic.
Yeah, he's smart and everything. And then sometimes he jumps out and he lets the real host come in, and he almost has like this stuttering, childlike demeanor to him. Like, he makes me do bad things. It's almost like he's not even there, and he's scared to death and everything. And
then when he snaps into Nefarious, it's very like, see, This is what I'm talking about here. I killed all these people because X, Y, and Z.
Right. And the whole point is Nefarious is trying to get his point across and tell you that he is a demon without the psychiatrist determining that he's crazy.
Yeah.
That's what the movie's about. It's out to try to prove the existence of demons and how people do bad things, and
right.
how a demon can be attached to them and stuff like that.
Because if he's real, then God's real.
Yeah, if a demon is real, then a God's real. See, it's one of those things we talked about it like a demon or the devil is not out to disprove the existence of God. He is out there to prove to you that God actually does exist, because if God exists, the devil exists. If God exists, angels exist. If the devil exists, demons exist. It's a war. It's always good and evil. You got to have both sides. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
if a demon comes out or whatever, he wants you to believe in God. He really does, because that gives him more satisfaction when he can break you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what the movie is about, and it's back and forth dialogue. We can't really tell you scene by scene because it's mostly just two people sitting down.
Yeah, it's just
and
it's
talking.
in a prison in a room talking.
Yeah, it's not your typical
flashbacks. It's no.
Yeah, it's not your typical horror film. It's more of a suspenseful dread, like, it makes you think. It almost kind of like Knock at the Cabin, but without the gore and the kills. You know what I'm saying? It's more of a
isolated conversation.
Yeah, it's more of I'm going to tell you some stuff, and it's your job to either take it or leave it. You're either going to believe it or not. But if you don't believe it, okay. There's some consequences. So, we can't really dive deep into this without like writing down all the dialogue, because that's what this film is about. It's about dialogue. Do not watch this film if you are easily distracted or if you just want something to be put on in the background. It's not going to have the effect of you. You need to shove your phone up your ass. You need to put up the dogs. You need to tell your girlfriend to shut her fucking yap or whatever.
Or your boyfriend.
Or
tell
your
him
boyfriend.
To close his fucking dick licker.
Tell your kids to go in the room and fucking get on Snapchat or whatever they do. And dedicate an hour and a half of your life to this, and without any distractions, because it's a very, very good movie. It's
to do a kind of a brief summary. The demon wants the main guy. What's his name? James. The main guy, James. How the fuck could I forget his name? Anyway,
Jimmy.
He pretty much wants him to join the dark side, so to speak, and publish his book so they can pretty much like the dark version of the Bible, but for almost like the Satanic Bible that exists.
He called it the Dark Gospel.
The Dark Gospel, and then that way that they could convince and convert more people to it. And then he says no when he's on the electric chair. Spoiler. And then he takes the book and he rewrites it as a warning. And then the interviewer at the end of the movie says, "Do you believe?" He said, "I'm still unsure." And then as he's leaving, there's this homeless person and gives her $20 and then turns to him and says, "Have you missed me, James?" In like a really dark, in his voice. And then it cuts off. So
yeah, that's a very, minute review. But this is one of those films where we can't, like I said, we can't dive into it. We can't really tell you this because it's dialogue driven. We can't really tell you scene by scene. I mean
there's no scene by scene.
Yeah, that's pretty much the scene. I mean, you go from
that was the most that's pretty much you have dialogue between the therapist, the inmate, the warden, and then the interviewer at the end.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much that's about as much. But it's entertaining, though. I will give it that. It's
let's dive into the controversy because there's a lot of people out there that say that because of the people who made this, the same people that made God's Not Dead, which was considered a Christian propaganda film.
Right.
They say that this one is the same way. It's preachy. It's about because they bring up abortion. They bring up, basically the demon tells you that look around, if you, because the psychologist is an atheist, right? So they kind of paint an atheist one way, you know what I mean? And you can tell that politically he probably leans more left because he's like, oh, we live in a great country. We live
in a day and age where LGBTQ have rights, black people have rights and stuff like that. And the demon's like,
the demon
points out like all the,
hypocritical points in it.
Yeah.
Like when he says that you have athletes playing a sport making $30 million and getting on social media wanting to be social media justice warriors. Meanwhile, they're wearing shoes that were made by slaves in China getting 13 cents an hour,
Well, yeah, to piggyback, he said that you have African American basketball players making $30 million a year and claiming racism and slavery when they're wearing shoes made by slaves overseas.
Right. That's basically what he said.
Yeah, claiming oppression when you're a multimillionaire.
Yeah, and
which is not wrong. You can't claim oppression when you're fucking $30 million in the bank.
I mean,
that's black, white, gay, straight, or whatever.
This isn't going to turn into whether we agree with the message or not. But I mean, you have to bring up the points. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't go on a podcast and put your shit on YouTube and talk about how you're oppressed and you're sitting there with a diamond ring in your ear and a gold chain around your neck. Right. I'm sorry, that just does. I don't care who you are. That doesn't work for me, brother.
Yeah.
So
you can't be oppressed when you made it.
Right. You can't do that.
It's not oppression.
And that's exactly what kind of like this demon is pointing out. And, he says the same thing. He has his views on abortion. And that's why a lot of the so-called, I don't know what you'd call them, I guess left or non-religious people or whatever you call them, they think that this movie is propaganda because basically this movie points out everything that they don't believe in, so in their minds it's propaganda. But, the right does that too. The right will go and see a movie and they're like, oh, this promotes Satan, this promotes this promotes that. This movie is, there's no like misinterpretation to it though.
I think it made some valid points.
But what I'm saying is that if you're on the left or you're non-religious people or you can't accept the logical reasons that he gave in the movie about why things are evil, then yeah, you probably should get offended. Because to be honest with you, if this movie offends you, then good. Like, I'm not saying I disagree or agree with you, but if it offends you, good. Like, it wasn't for you. But it should be for you because you shouldn't look at it in your goddamn perspective. You should look at it as a movie.
Well, my thing is, if this movie offends you, I want to know why. Like, because I wasn't offended, and as the cult knows, me and the Thunder don't lean right or left. Because
no, we don't. We enjoy good movies.
We think each side. Well,